Hi, hello, welcome back to this channel. Today we are going to do a shoot that is very exciting to me. This is the first shoot that I would have done in location. I mean, I did one the other week, but I didn't end up using it because that was more like a big learning experience for me, shooting on location again and just editing styles that I wasn't fully comfortable or ready for yet. But today we're going down to the reservoir to shoot on location. We're going to be shooting in water, which is fun. Not underwater, just surface of the water. So I'm going to need some assistance. I'll have the tripod for me. But what we're doing today, we're doing a shoot that's going to be inspired by Ophelia. It's not going to be an Ophelia recreation, not entirely, because I like the image of lying just in still water. Because I am doing a project for uni right now which is violence against women in Greek mythology. And one of the women that I'm doing, let's double check the pronunciation again. Chimapolia. Or Kimopolea. I don't fully know how to pronounce her name because there's so little information about her. I know that she was one of Poseidon's 3 legitimate children, or one of his 3 legitimate daughters. I know that she was the goddess of violent storm waves, which is why I like her, the irony and the contradiction of shooting her in like completely still water. And I know that she was not welcomed into the palace because she was so big and clumsy, which is such a stupid reason. But yeah, she was rejected by her family. So then again, I want to add to the isolation of the image. So we will be going down to the reservoir to shoot this in a bit, so I will add in like all my time-lapse footage and all my editing footage and all that fun stuff. But the choices that I make for the shoot, we're doing like pink flowy dress. I was going to do a blue one to match in with the water theme, but it hasn't arrived and I want to do the shoot now. But so we're doing pink so we can add in ties to femininity and things like that. I also have a little crown on that I'm just wearing because I don't think it will actually show up in the photos or be relevant, but I'll take it just in case. I'm also very on edge because I know my landlord's coming like at any moment to check out the house and I'm stressed. So yeah, we're going to do this shoot, it's going to be fun, and I hope that this is going to be like a defining image of this project. So let's go. Okay, so I've already filmed this part of the video, however it went missing. It somehow just vanished from my camera roll. So if you're seeing this, it's still missing. And I'm doing it this way. So I wanted to talk very quickly about the editing process for this Ophelia inspired image. It's not that much more exciting than usual, I just wanted to document it again for myself. But this shoot was fun because I did have sorry, I'm very ill. I did have this little experimentation with mixed media, and I think that's something I'm going to continue without the rest of the shoots for this project. So you might be seeing a lot more videos from me with other shoots from the same project. The first step was opening the image in Camera Raw. I apply lens correction. For this specific one, I reduced the white, I think all the way down to -100 to bring some detail back into these overexposed areas, and because there are a lot of reflections and highlights in this image because I was shooting in water. So there's just a lot going on. I wanted to tone that down just a little bit. Then I positioned the image onto a square canvas. I personally used 12 by 12 inches at 300 dpi. I just positioned it, I think so the subject is in like the lower half and also a bit to the side. It's in like the lower 4 squares together. That makes no sense. Next I expanded the background by selecting that empty white space at the top, right clicked and clicked content aware fill, which is something that I've learned about recently from my beloved roommate Han, which has saved me in so many photos now. And obviously it's not perfect. If you look closely you can see there's a lot of repetition in the details that are up there, but it works enough for this image where the subject is lowered down to hopefully distract you from it. The third step for me was adding in all these extra hands, because I had a lot of pictures from this day that I loved, but I obviously couldn't use all of them, so I just selected the best hands, which is a fun process when you're refining the images, just zooming in on my hands. They were all added, resized and positioned. Then I added a layer mask and used a low hardness, so a big fluffy brush, to just kind of blend them in, make them fit in a bit. And also it's very weird trying to blend water into other water because the ripples don't quite line up, and it was a painful process. I then used a curve layer which darkens both the shadows and the highlights, so it kind of reduced the contrast of the image while also just making it darker overall. This is a layer that I kind of add in some version in all of my images because the textures that I use later on brighten it up a lot, so I always need a curve layer just to darken it beforehand so it still looks right at the end. I then added, I'm just reading my notes, 2 vignettes, both using curve layers. The first one was a very large vignette. Is it a large vignette? No. It was more concentrated on darkening, specifically the corners and just a thin bit of the edges of the canvas, just to frame the canvas as a whole. And then added one that was more focused to just framing the subject of the image, because I thought it looked nice. It was also kind of a way to blend the hands into the background to make it a bit more shadowy, a bit more ominous, and also to hide the fact that the hands aren't blended well. So yeah, there's 2 vignettes to make the edges extra dark, a bit more spooky. I think I'm embracing the Halloween spirit. But I wanted to frame both the canvas and the subject kind of separately. And the final step in all my images is adding this oil paint texture. I keep writing down that I put it on the multiply layer mode, but I just checked and it's the soft light layer mode. I added all my images. I've also started adding a second, the same one but kind of flipped both way rounds. And I use a layer mask, so it's kind of a vignette but this texture. Because the texture always picks up the centre of the images very well, but the edges don't usually look included, so I had to add a separate layer just to texture the edges. And I think that is all I have to say about this specific editing process. My housemates are home, I need to finish this up quickly. So thank you for watching this video. I hope I will make more videos in the future about this shoot, especially because I want to try out doing multimedia a bit more. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.